Hello, and welcome to AccrediTalk, where I give you a bite-sized nugget about a particular accreditation standard that just might apply to your healthcare organization. My name is Tom Goddard. I'm the founder and chief executive officer of Integral Healthcare Solutions, your destination for all your healthcare accreditation consulting needs. The accreditation standard I'll be discussing in this short video is from URAC's Specialty Pharmacy and Mail Service Pharmacy Accreditation Programs, version 4.0. The particular standard I'll be talking about is OPIN 3-4. This standard deals with the performance evaluation of your staff members. Now, this is simply a revision of earlier versions of this, so this will be a familiar topic to you, but there are some important changes that you'll want to pay attention to. So, just as before, you need to conduct periodic performance assessments based on established expectations for each member of your staff. This actually, and this is a change, this includes 1099 consultants, not employees. Now, you might have a different system for evaluating the performance of your consultants than you do for your employees, but you've got to have some documentation that you are holding your consultants' feet to the fire. So have something that you can show URAC that shows that you're actually evaluating the performance of your consultants. But the rest of it's, as you might imagine from previous versions, and have a regular performance evaluation thing. Now, a couple of key differences from earlier versions. First of all, you are now in charge of how often you need to do that. URAC used to say every year. And that was a whole lot of problems with that, because some organization might change their way of doing it, and they did in 2017 they did their evaluations in January, and then in 2018 they did them in May, and that would be a violation. That's no longer the case. You get to establish the frequency of these performance evaluations. So that's the first thing. Just make sure that you're complying with your own policy and procedure. That's where you could get hung up. Yes, you don't have to do it annually, but if you're not doing it at the frequency that your policies say you should be doing it, then we run into a problem dealt with in another video of you're just not complying with your own policy. So just make sure you're doing what your policies prescribe around performance evaluation. For veterans of the URAC world, this likely, almost certainly will mean that you need to revise your policy and procedure on this. Second issue here is there's a piece of the previous version of this standard that is missing, and that is you don't have to demonstrate that you've reviewed documentation produced by the employee. Thank goodness, many of you will say. That's an expectation that's gone now. Instead of that, URAC has created this notion of established expectations. Your performance evaluation has to be in the context of expectations that you've established for that provision. So you don't necessarily have to review particular documentation. For a lot of employees in the healthcare world, there's not any particular documentation involved. But somewhere you have to say, here's what we expect, job description, perhaps other issues or other documents, and here's what you did. And so did you meet or exceed or not meet those expectations? You get to define those expectations in the job description or for a contractor in the contract with the contractor. So that's it. So you'll recognize it. There are some important changes that you'll want to go into detail on, but generally this is not a particularly new standard. So that's it for this video. Thanks for joining me. For my full interpretive guide on this standard and all of the other standards, but for this standard in particular, click on the link below this video on YouTube. And if you want to talk to me personally about this standard, other standards, or how Integral Healthcare Solutions might be able to help you with your accreditation needs, please click on the appropriate link below this video on the YouTube page. I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.